What's going on, guys? Geronimo 22. We have the Niners defense versus the Steelers offense first half breakdown. I'm going to go through each play, talk about the scheme on defense, the scheme on offense, what the intentions were, what I liked what the defense was doing. We're going to see how good the Niners defense really is. Now, this is a video that I worked on late last night. I'm trying to get an idea of when these videos are going to drop. So I did it as soon as it came out. Fade it towards the end, so if the energy level is not as high as maybe you would like, I apologize, but the information is going to be good. We're getting better as we go along. Like I had said, this is another part of my channel where I'm going to break down stuff, and one of my goals this year is to watch the Niners. I'm a Niners fan. Everybody wants to watch Purdy. Everybody wants to watch the quarterbacks. I want to watch the Niners defense because I feel like the Niners defense is the reason that the team will become a Super Bowl champion or not. The offense is going to score its normal Kyle Shanahan 20, 24 points a game. I feel like that's just what's going to happen once people start figuring out the Niners offense, but the defense is going to have to shut people down and only give up 1 or 2 touchdowns a game. So I'm just kind of curious to see if there's any warts, any problems. We'll talk about some players that played in the game and who needs some work as we go along, all right? So sit back, enjoy the film, and if you have any questions, please put them in the comment section. Make sure you subscribe and all that good stuff, and we'll talk some football. I'm going to compare it to Madden as well. You Madden heads, I'm going to put a little bit of Maddenese in there too, okay? So we're going to blend the two together, all right? Talk to you later. This is just the first half, okay? Talk to you later. What's going on? I'm going to take a look at the game versus the Steelers. Niners on defense. Going to do a focus on the Niners defense. Everybody says it's a really good D, and I think it is. So we're going to take a look at it, see what makes it so special. Kind of curious to see what kind of route concepts what kind of coverage concepts they're calling. That's what we're going to focus on. But we'll talk through a couple plays here. It's the first play of the game. All right, so they come out in a bunch-like formation in the start pretty much. Let me get back on this one. And then they motion over to 2x2. All right, so that's an easy formation to just get the game going. A lot of people are going to throw something quick, get the quarterback in the rhythm. So here you're going to get a smash combination here. So you're going to get your corner route, a flat route, okay? And here they're going to take the corner from the point man, and they're going to just sit down and run like a snag concept on the left-hand side, okay? So if it was whatever coverage it is, most of the time you're going to work, obviously, this side of the field, okay, where you have more people. Quarterback might look you off, but that's pretty much what happens in this play where we start. You're going to see here they're going to drop. This defense is actually going to drop down and play cover 3, okay? Now, the Niners look like they actually are playing like a spot drop cover 3 and actually playing a little bit of spot drop cover 4, which is interesting. Maybe a little bit of matching rules. I got to look at how they're playing it. They're playing it different than I've seen other people really play it. Curious to just watch more film, and I'm not sure if this has to be the coordinator's influence and how he wants to play it. But let's just watch this play. And again, this is a good job by guys just rallying into the ball. It's probably the best thing that the Niners do. They get after people with just their effort, tackling, stripping the ball, doing things that good defenses do. Let's take a look at Fred Warner here on this play. Let me see if I can pause it. Yep. All right. So, again, this is why I think he's playing zone drop, because we're not relating to 3 at all, because number 3 is on the left side of the screen here, and he's not doing that. He's just reading the quarterback's eyes. As soon as he comes back, he comes back and is able to make this play. Almost overruns it, but he's actually in really good shape. But just the way he tackles, you know what I mean? That's what's going to wear people down. I think there was three injured players from this game from the Steelers, so that's how it works. This is just a little tricky dicky play here. They just go with a little jet sweep action. Tossing the ball in front, which I thought was I'm not sure how that's working anymore. The rules have changed. You see people handing the ball off behind the quarterback now, but I guess the difference is this counts as a run play. It's not actually a pass play anymore. So, but again, you get to see how many hats are over here, right? Just the effort guys are tackling. Even if you're missing hard, So guys are flying around. You got guys with eyes on the ball. So really heavy with that zone eye mentality. This would be an interesting play that I think from an offensive standpoint, people are going to like start the game. Offensive coordinators are going to say, hey, what are they in? What are they doing? So they get to a 2x2 set, all right? And they're going to run like a divide concept, all right? They're going to run the little post by one, and then we're going to get a sit-down route by the tight end. They got a little shallow cross here. I'm not sure what this guy does. He probably just sits down. But what this does is try to find out what's going on with this quarter safety. They probably know they're playing quarters. So as soon as this guy comes up, you got the post. And, let's watch this play here. I think Pickett misses one, to be honest with you. I think he could have definitely taken a shot on this play. And he didn't. Now, I don't know if he turned it down because of the pressure that came up the middle, but let's take a look. You see the post? I mean, the post that in the NFL, that's open. You know what I'm saying? Right now, he's setting up loading. The safety is coming down on that sit-down route, right? On the shallow cross, the tight end. I'm not sure why. So this makes me think that the Niners are playing. They're definitely using some match rules when guys are going over 10 yards. They're matching it with the safeties, being flat-foot safeties. So. And when it comes to some of the other, let's look at this. Let me see something real quick. Yeah, it looks like Fred Warner is doing a nice job on this play, the middle linebacker, of recognizing the route concept. So usually in quarters coverage, you would want your, give me 1 second here. You would want, in this case, you don't know technically, and again, he understands the route concepts pretty well, but this quarter flat defender could get pulled out if two was to run an out route or something like that. So you would want this player to kind of take away the shallow cross. But you watch him here, he's gonna notice that, and he's just gonna go and now match basically his new number 3. Okay, so I just want to show you that because I think that's a good job by him of recognizing that and getting that done quickly. And Fred Warner is such a good athlete that he will sometimes just turn and run and go cover guys. If I don't know why Pickett's turning this down though. It looks like he's like almost loaded up to throw, and I guess that pressure up the middle might have spooked him, and he didn't take it. But I think on timing, this is like a play he can hit. Let me take a look at the quarterback. I mean, he sees the safety running down right now. I don't. Yeah, there's no reason why he turns this down. I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. Again, I coached on offense for a little bit, but just listening to guys talk and listening to how people talk about the quarterback position in the league, you got to trust some of your throws here. So let's go to the next play. I thought this was an interesting play to look at. You're actually getting a 5-2 defense, which you don't really see a lot in the NFL. You're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down linemen, okay, actual linemen on the field, and then you're getting your 2 linebackers. So it's a 5-2 defense, all right, and then the safety walks down here. So I think that's pretty interesting. You don't see that too often, and I know, if you guys who are my Madden heads, this is one of the defenses that's actually in John Madden football, so they got that right. Interesting. Makes me wonder. I never actually thought about really running this defense against this formation, but maybe I should in the Madden world, okay? So take a look at this play. It's just a straight run play here. And again, I'm going to show you what happens up front. A little bit of a coordinated run stopping front here, and how they work it is interesting. So you have one of your defensive tackles down here. He's aligned in the B gap as a 3 technique, but he's actually going to stunt. So is this one here. All right. You're going to get a safety walking down. That's probably going to be a read player. He's probably going to end up fitting where needed, but the C gap is open. So because this is not here, all right, Warner's just going to follow the ball, and it's just going to be a wide open gap, all right? Because, again, from an offensive standpoint, these 2 guys are going to be working this double team up to that safety because he showed up, all right? Then you get your guard and your center, all right? They're going to be zone stepping and going this way. So from, I don't know, from the offensive line coach standpoint, you're going to see how he's going to kind of get caught up on this player who's doing that stunt, and that's going to kind of hurt this play a little bit. Now, Kinlaw, I think that's Kinlaw. All right, he does a good job that if for some reason, even if the guard on this play actually, if the guard on this play actually lets him go, you're going to see how Kinlaw probably would have been free to make a play on this. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's getting almost held here. Like, look at that defensive tackle ripping back across. He's getting held by 73. All right. But that also just frees up Warner right there. So, interesting front. You know, the 49ers are a wide 9 front, but versus certain formations, they got to play some more 3-4 mentality, and that's pretty much what that was. All right, is this the interception play? No, this is just the screen. Again, hard to see what the coverage is really. It looks like it was cover 4, but just good hustle. I think number 2, Lenore, is one of the better nickels. I know later on they move him outside, but just look at his effort getting off the block. I mean, that's amazing. That's really good. Again, for my Madden heads, I know you guys know, like, well, you should know that he's actually one of the better players on that team. He has really good speed, aggressiveness, and I like the way he hustles. Watch number 2. So good job by them. Now we get the 2x2 formation. It's going to motion from bunch to 2x2. All right, and this would be the interception play if I'm not mistaken. So, okay, so the Niners will take and actually run a little bit of, like, they'll put 3 guys on one side, here, okay? And then they have another, DN out there. So on the left side of the center, from the defensive point of view, you got 3 guys, right? And then you got a linebacker kind of walked up as a pseudo defensive lineman. So it really, this to me is a good call for a team that wants to try to what they call 5-0 block, because they're going to basically say that each guy is basically going to block each man. Let me go to the opposite side of the ball. It'll be a lot easier to see. And then we'll come back to the route itself, okay? So I'm going to start with the front, and then we'll come back to it here. Give me 1 second. So this is going to be interception. We'll get back to the coverage here in a second. Okay, so what we have here is, like I talked about, so from a defensive point of view, from an offensive point of view, actually, you're going to see the line talking. Now, if they went 5-0, it would basically look like this. Okay, these guys, again, I know obviously they're backing up, but we'll get the tackle on him. We would treat 54 like he's a down person, and that would work. So that would work for what they were trying to do on defense. So on defense, they're trying to get a stunt going where they take Kinlaw. I think that's Kinlaw. These 2 guys would be slanting inside, okay? And if it was man-to-man, obviously their men would go with them, and then they would take the linebacker here and come across and do like a little game like that where he would come free potentially with that. And this is probably, I'm not sure if they are going to do this throughout the year. I have a feeling this was a game plan play they had, because they didn't know if they were going to have Bosa. So they're trying to create some pressure. But a lot of teams in the NFL on 3rd down, they're going to do stuff like this anyway. They're going to come out and try to play cover 1 and try to get somebody free off of a 5-man rush if they can do it. But what happens here is that the offense actually plays. Let me go here. The offense does not treat this like 5-0, and you get your man out there blocked, but they're going to just slide. Everybody's going to step to the right. He's going to get out here and get him. They're going to slide to the right, okay, which actually it will pick up this pressure as long as 78 doesn't get caught up, all right? So the pressure doesn't work on this play, but it gets enough to get inside, get in the quarterback's face a little bit, and it looks like he kind of makes a poor throw here. Where you see the pressure, and then 7-8, he gets a little bit of a hand on the outside, the whatchamacallit, the blitzing backer. So let's go back to the defensive point of view and look at the coverage. Cover 1. So this is where Mooney Ward, or Tre'Davious Ward, is really good at just basically playing press man, I think. I mean, this matchup right here, it's just a nice job. He just does a good job of just locking this route up. Now, they're going to run what I call just a corner route from a tight positioning, which is, guys who play Madden with me know C routes are popular, right? And I'm trying to get this thing working. New setup here, trying to get you guys some more visuals. But that C route's on lock, and Kenny throws it late, and that's what happens. Okay, there's really nobody else open here from a route standpoint. It's an okay route. Is it really good versus cover one? I don't think so. All right, so we get the corner over here. We get just a flat. All right, and then over here, I forget who's. I think we're getting just a high-low concept from a defensive point of view. Offenses might call that bow or follow or something like that. I think that's what they might call it, bow or follow. But some type of high-low, and usually that's the back side of the concept, all right? The back here, I think, was trying to look to hunt up that linebacker because since they were sliding, he was looking to see if 54 was coming. He would have been responsible for him. So that's that play right there. And it's just a poor throw, poor decision, and interception. Is it the best design? Probably not versus cover one. You're pretty much making a trusted throw and just saying I'm hoping my guy wins. So that's probably, that would be one of the poor plays I think the coaches on the offense are looking at. Now, could you have thrown this dig on the backside? Well, maybe. It looks like the safety, the free safety, the post safety actually was coming down and might have actually made a big hit here. Like, let me see if it shows up in this window here. So you do have this, you see at the top of the screen, you do kind of have that player that maybe would have been open, but he actually did look. Actually, he did look at it. Wow, look at this! I didn't realize this. So this is actually not a good play. All right, so look at Kenny Pickett. He's going through his progression. I think he realizes that this play is kind of locked up. He went with the backside look. I think he didn't trust that he was going to be able to make this play. Let's go back and look at the wide view. Because you're going to see the safety here. He's actually going to drive this play. All right. Watch how he comes down and drives his play a little bit late, but I think you can squeeze it in there. I don't think this is a situation where he probably should have turned this down. But his progression, let me see where his eyes actually do go look at it. Right there. He looks at it. Yeah, you got to throw that dig. Wow, didn't see this. The dig is there. When he looks at it, it's there. The safety is about, look how far back the safety is in the middle of the field over the Steelers logo, right? You got to throw that ball. And then to come back and just throw the ball outside late like that, that's not good at all. That's really poor job by Pickett. Sorry, man. Didn't even notice all that. We were talking about the front and stunts and all that good stuff, and that's what happened. So, oh boy. All right, let's go to the next play. Let's watch it from the end zone, actually. Yeah, you got to hit that dig. Again, I don't know how they're reading it. I don't know how they're teaching it, but I'm looking at the quarterback's eyes. He looked at it, and he turned it down. So, all right. All right, we're back with the next series. This series is a bad series by the home team. Let's take a look at it. Pause this. So the first play up is just looks like it's just going to be a little boot play, motion in, little swap boot with the receiver. Nothing's really special here. Warner does a nice job on this play. That's what I'll just point out. 54 in the middle of the screen. You see how he comes downhill. Different teams have boot rules. Sometimes you do just have your inside backer, one of your guys, just come and get the quarterback, contain the quarterback himself, or chase it down. So that makes it easy, an easier situation. This one is very interesting too. So we get 12 personnel. We get a little jet motion, then he comes back across. Just trying to, it looks like they're trying to mess around with the rules, trying to see what they're in. Looks like the Niners are playing some sort of quarters style defense. Again, I'm not sure if it's match or zone. We're going to find that out, I guess, as we go along. But here, they try to run the ball, and this play gets totally blown up, by the backer. I'm not sure what they were trying to do. I don't know if this motion, they thought this motion would have done something to distort the backer, okay? But this play right here is just let me try to get this off the screen here. This play right here is just an inside zone split play, okay? So everybody's going to step, oops, my fault. Everybody's going to step to the right. I don't have to draw it on the screen. And then you're going to get your sifter coming back and blocking the D end, okay? But you get all the double teams on the screen. Right now we have 6 guys to block 6 players that are in the box, okay, if you're not including that D end. So it should be good money, all right, for them. Double team, work up to this. These two working up to maybe these two, right? Sometimes it doesn't get there, right? And then we got, because of the sifter, we can get this working up to this. But watch how nobody blocks this guy. So there might have been a missed assignment. I think for some reason, it looks like the backside tackle is trying to work up to Fred Warner. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that was because of that original motion that we saw going across. If he would have stayed out there, I think this backer would have been blocked by him. But he came running back across, and that made me believe that maybe they were trying to influence him some way, or they think that Burks is not a good player. But I don't know. But watch this. I'll go back and you'll see the replay. Just watch the left side of the screen. The left side backer doesn't get blocked by anybody. The ball cuts back right to him. Obviously, inside zone can do that. But it looks like the left tackle here is actually just working himself to be, we're trying to work his way up to almost to middle linebacker, okay? And he's not even looking at that guy. So it just tells me that the way they called this play on offense, they didn't think that guy had to be blocked, or it's just a mistake. Not sure what happened there. So that's just a bust. Good job by, let me see what's happening here. Eric Armstead. He has the double team with he does a good job of reaching around. He plays really high, but, he still does a good job of reaching through. Let me see the other D tackle on the inside. Not bad. And do they ever even get to 57? Yeah, a little bit. You get a little piece of them. Let me see that safety, how fast he fits downhill. Yeah, he's playing quarters, man. 31, 29. They're playing quarters. It seems like they have some different ways to play it where they can actually play zone and not always play real quarters. Now, this play right here is 3rd down, right? So they're in 3rd and long. And this play is actually open. It's just a missed throw. So you get like this kind of post. He actually gives him a little stem. I think it's a dig, okay? And you get like 2 stick routes here. They're kind of working to the sticks. I'm not sure what the individual route is on the backside, okay? But that's pretty much what you're getting on this play. Niners are playing a zone blitz. Again, they're doing what they did before at the line, all to one side. And it's going to probably be the same stunt where they're going to try to bring Warner around, okay? And you have right now your strong safety down, your nickels over here. You have a backer who's going to bluff blitz here and then back out into his seam flat. A lot of teams will do this when his guy that he's responsible for is in the backfield. You would try to buff. Some people would actually just bring him. I've seen that happen too on the outside. But right now, these 2 guys are going to end up just exchanging these 2 positions because they're really zone defenders. As soon as they switch quickly, so it's easy to see. All right. But this throw is open, and I really believe this could have been out the gate potentially for a touchdown, to be honest with you. The guy is open. I think Pickett just misses him. I mean, watch the dig. Watch that deep. It looks like it could be a sloppy route. I'm not sure how they're teaching it, but to me, that's a wide open player. Look at it and again, if he catches this ball, I mean, just check this out. Like, the safety over here took a really bad angle. He should be breaking downhill like this. Maybe even a slight angle there. But he's like going flat, and I think if this ball was caught, it could have been out the gate for a touchdown. So this is kind of scary from a defensive point of view. Kind of got lucky that it was just a poor throw by Pickett. It looked like. You see all that space that he would have ran. But I'll pause it when Pickett is about to make this throw. I mean, he throws it on time. I don't think there's any problem with that. The stunt got picked up, by the way, right? He does a good job of, even with the games that are happening, and Bosa potentially right there, steps up, rips it. just misses him. So again, maybe that's a poor route by Johnson or just a missed throw. But I mean, if you want to be competitive, you got to make that throw. So keep it moving. Go to the next series. All right, let's talk about this series. This is another bad series by Pittsburgh, man. I don't know what's going on right now, but let's just watch it out. All right, so we get, I don't know, this is interesting here what happens on this play. This jet motion looks like they have, a lot of teams that do something called radar, where basically the safety would come down and play the jet motion, okay? So with this motion by this guy, all right, the safety would come and basically play him man-to-man or rotate the coverage. So it depends on the play call. If it's cover one, you know, we would just, whoever had that guy would replace and play free safety, and he would go get him. So we don't have to have a corner chasing somebody across the field. Or if it's cover three, who, you know, one of your down players would have to do the same thing and go back and play middle third. The hard part about cover three is that would change everybody else's assignment to where the safety is basically like changing rotation. So everybody would have to play a different assignment on the fly, but I guess you can work it. It's not a big deal, right? So something happens here, but they actually are using the nickel because the safety's actually right here. Nickel's out here. The nickel goes back and plays deep. So I'm not going to belabor that too much. I'm not sure what the rules are for these guys, but that's what happens on this play. But the play itself is, let's see what they're doing on offense here. Oh, okay, yeah, this is a nice little, you know, play action play, drift. Pretty much the Niners run a lot of this type of play. So basically, you're just going to get all this motion in front with the receiver coming across, and then you get the same sifting action that you saw from the other play that we had earlier with the guy coming back. Right, you got your zone blocking, and then what they're gonna do is just run like a little kind of like lazy little like dig over the middle. Okay, I call it a lazy dig. And usually you have like a post or something on the backside of that. Okay, so pretty much you're trying to get everybody to suck down versus the run. But I mean, the Steelers have not been running the ball, and from a linebacker standpoint, let's just show you the guy that makes this play is going to be Fred Warner. He gets in the window. Doesn't let Pickett throw this ball. Let me go back on this. Kind of froze up on me for a second here, guys. All right, so look at it from the end zone. It's easier to see. Watch 54 in the middle. He's going to sit there. He's going to kind of, again, he's playing against a team that is does this on his own offense. Does this to him all camp. So I would not be running drift plays against a team like this. So Fred Warner's there. I think the guy's open, but there's a lot of bodies also in the face of the quarterback. 94 just puts his foot down. You got Bosa coming off the other side. But again, why not just rip it? I don't know. Whoever the quarterback guys are, you know, I think there's a window to rip that, but he doesn't. 554 is in the middle of the field. You know, he can potentially get there, okay, just because he has such good reads. You're going to ask, people ask, well, how does he know, like, it's not a freaking run, right? Well, one good thing that a lot of good players will look at is the offensive line, and the offensive line usually tells you if it's a run or a pass. Now, is this type of zone blocking with all these lines the line step in this way? Are they being really aggressive? You're gonna kind of get a feel for how aggressive they are as they step over to the left. We call that elephants on parade, being like they're just kind of all sliding in one direction. It's like a half-ass pass pro, kind of make it look like a run. You know, another key thing in the NFL, like sometimes you can actually hear the linemen coming off the ball with their grunts, with the pads clicking. If it sounds really soft and quiet, like you don't hear a lot of like collisions, you can kind of get an idea. Like, I mean, Warner's kind of stepping up here to start, but he recognizes real quick that this is just a bunch of BS. The line is just sliding over. They're not blocking for run, and he just knows that. Now, in this play call, there's some play calls where they would tell the linebackers to fall back versus a sifter back here, which is that tight end that went back. But I'm not sure how they're teaching it. I'm not 100% sure on how they're teaching that. I don't think they are. But anyway, this guy was open. I feel like the guy's open again. I think he could have took this ball. I know Purdy would have probably just ripped this ball, but he turns it down, and that's that. He checks it down, and there we go. So this next play here is 3-by-1. I think there's a penalty. Nope, they do run this play. Okay, now they get to 2-by-2 with the motion. A lot of confusion going on here. So from a defensive point of view, I don't know what's going on, but I think somebody's blitzing. It looks like Hufunga's down here. Oops. Let me get him on screen, please. All right, I keep picking the eraser. All right, here we go. Hufunga is there. I think he blitzes. He kind of like sees like a kind of, I don't know what he does. He kind of gets caught up in the back there. I don't know. He doesn't continue on his blitz, it looks like, because it looks like Bosa comes inside, all right? And then so these three players, however they work out after they go through their musical chairs, you got a seam flat player down here and up here, and then you got this player here. So as the route comes out, all right, let me get this going again, get this off the screen. All right, so as this route starts, this is just shallow cross. Again, a very simple, old school play. Not any type of like real imagination to this play. So you get your all right. So this guy is going to end up motioning. Oh, jeez, come on! I swear they make that thing look just like that. He motions out here and he runs the shallow. Okay. And then you have to sit down over the ball, and then usually you have a curl, okay, and a post, all right, and then with this back here, just check down. So simple. I'm not going to go through the reads or anything like that, but we'll watch Pickett. He's going to drop back, and it takes a little bit of time for him to, this play does take a little time to develop. So from a defensive point of view, you're going to see with this route by the tight end, whoever's your seam flat defender is going to stay with that because he thinks that's a vertical route, right? Here, you're going to get whoever's crossing across is going to have to be cut off and related to by the 3 receiver hook player, right? Because he never knows, again, in this coverage, you never know what's happening to your seam flat defender, okay? And then whoever is this guy is going to be sitting here underneath this curl, doesn't have any work, and then he'll react down to the back checking out. We got corners here, again, playing what we call tight third. So you got deep third, but really it's more like once he goes past 10 yards, you got him, so you can drive it. And we'll come back to this corner at the bottom, number 20, every time. I mean, this is one of the worst reps I've ever seen a corner ever do, to be honest with you. I can see why maybe people started going after him in this game, I think later on. Yeah, so let's just take a look at it. So this is the would-be pick, but again, so the seam flat defender is going to take that tight end, like I said. He doesn't know if it's vertical, so he's going to play that, and then Warner's going to just relate to 3 and just lock him up. He's actually behind him, and the ball's thrown right to his chest, and he can't make the play. Now what happens here, it looks like Pickett gets a little bit of pressure, a lot of pressure actually. It looks like 94 does a nice job getting around the edge. So the right defensive end on screen does a nice little swim under move. All right, but this is this play does take a little bit of time to develop. So I think he probably would have thrown this a lot better if he didn't get hit. So I thought it was a bad throw. Everybody thought it was a bad throw, but no, it was more just because he got hit. Now, I think the curl was on the other side, so that's my fault. You might have double curls, but watch the corner at the bottom of the screen. I gotta highlight this. This is bad. I gotta make this. I mean, known right now. Like this is bad. Okay, I don't know what's going on there, but just watch his back pedal. Look how high he is. Look how choppy his back pedal looks. Like, this is not an NFL corner. I'm sorry to say. I haven't watched him really since he's been in the league, but that back pedal looks like Division 2 or 3 to me from what I used to see. Either that or he's just not a good off corner. But look at that back pedal. Look how choppy and high it is, the arms. And he opens up. Look how much cushion he opened up to give this guy. I mean, this dude is 6 yards cushion. And then his transition, he can't put his foot in the ground and come out 1-2. It's Pause. Oh man, that's guys. I've coached at Division III. No knock on Division III. I've coached at all levels of college, and I've coached in the NFL. That's not an NFL corner playing. He can't play off coverage. That's horrible. I think Mooney's at the top. Ward, he's playing press. So a lot of times when you get this type of zone pressure look, you can press or you can play off. It's up to you. And he chose to play off on second and long. That's pretty bad. All right. And this last play here, I forgot what this was. But again, look at the defense. They're going to be playing really deep. It's third and long. Let's get through this real quick. Looks like 2x2. Oh, it's just curls. So they're going to hook up. Again, they're not even going to the sticks. I'm not sure. It's just really lazy routes. But it's just Hank or all curl flat combination. And the defense is playing cover 3 sky, cover 3 buzz for a situation here where it's really, it's third down, so you play like the sticks. You can see this safety. Let me go back if I can. Hold on. All right, let me just pause that. So our safety here is going to drop down and play pretty much at the sticks in the hook curl area. You got a curl flat dropper, you got a hook curl dropper, and you got your curl flat dropper. These guys are going to work out to the numbers, and they should be getting to the sticks, and then you just got your 3D players, okay? So on offense, they're just going to run just curls, or sometimes in this situation they call it sticks. But just, they're going to sit down and try to curl up against the zone defense. But the thing is that these interior players here they're not going to work outside the curl. They're not going to buzz out like this. So this play is kind of trash. The only guy that might be open is this guy in the middle or a check down. That's pretty much it. Otherwise, I don't know, just kind of playing give up football. I'd rather see, again, I'm not trying to be the offensive coordinator for the Steelers, but I'd rather see them run more of a actual, even if it's a screen or something, get the ball into your guy's hands sooner. I guess the running back did leak out. So look at the running back here. Oh, no, he got caught up in the junk. But, yeah. Good effort here by 95, the right defensive end. Gets a little bull rush going on the tackle. And then when the quarterback steps up to scramble, he just keeps his feet going. Gets himself a little hustle effort sack. All right. So that's that. Anyway, we'll keep it going. Go to the next series. See what's up. So right now the Steelers are in a little bit of trouble. It looks like they kind of go back to the running game a little bit. They want to just see what's see if we can get something going. Multiple tight ends. I'm actually shocked to see the Steelers running more of a zone scheme than running the traditional power schemes with the duo plays and stuff like that. But the D line of the Niners, the interior guys here are just too stout. And Fred Warner is just too good, to be honest with you. I'm not even going to overanalyze that play. There's some misdirection. Here goes another play with some more misdirection here. So we watch this play. Watch the running back in the backfield. He steps to he kind of a little bit of a counter action. So he's running counter. So we're running kind of like counter without any real pullers. So it's almost like the duo play that I was just talking about. So this is more of old school Steelers football right now. The only thing I will say is that, again, duo, usually you don't have the counter steps. I'm not sure if the running back can really see what's going on, but you're going to get your down blocks. You're going to get your down blocks here and here, okay? Here and here. Your double teams, your double teams, down blocks here. You're going to kind of get a little bit of a chip here, and this is going to be a poor job by him. He needs to get more body, but he's trying to work up to this guy. I get it. Now, Warner, technically, in the old dual system, like that's the guy that the running back would read. So if Warner starts to flow too fast, running back could just put his head down and go get yards. If Warner sits in here and gets caught up in the junk, then he would just take it out. Remember Le'Veon Bell back in the day? Just keep like hop skipping out to the next gap. So right now he's not doing that, and the counter action, I'm not sure. So it almost looks like they just got too cute for their own good and just kind of got messed up here. So, Fred Warner makes this play. I guess he did have to work over the top of that double team, so they did try to double team up to Fred. But this play has to go outside because let's look at right here. Bosa kind of evades this little whatever this was supposed to be with this little hit by the tight end. He evades that, but Bosa kind of gets up in there and makes that play. They do have, I guess that's, I'm not sure who that is. That's that big receiver, number 11, looking to help out. But this ball is definitely going to bounce out here. And you're talking about, he'll get him and wall him, but you're talking about one of the best linebackers. You're going to let him run on a really bad misdirection play. I don't think that's smart. So, as you see here, this play kind of gets eaten up. They get like at least 2 yards, so that's good. So they try to commit to the running game a little bit, but to be honest, it was pretty bad overall. I think they didn't even run the ball that much this game, so I don't know if the Niners' run defense is that good yet. This play here with the short motion to try to see if it's man or zone, so they actually wisen up, I think, on this play, and they actually run a concept where they're going to basically just motion this guy down, see if it's man or zone. It's probably zone because that's what the Niners are playing. And they're just going to sit him down right there. I think they're just going to hook him up at the sticks with those two guys, thinking it's cover 3 or cover 4. And if it's cover either one, you're going to get probably this guy working out to the numbers. And if that's the case, we're just going to kind of replace where he was. So it's a good zone beater. And this play, actually I think was open, but they just don't execute it. It's just a poor throw. So let's take a look at it real quick. Works his way out. Guy's wide open. Misses it. All right, so this is actually a good scheme call. Kind of like the first play of the game when they ran a little snag type of concept. But, this is open for a first down for two guys. I mean, look at this. Again, you got these zone droppers here by the Niners, and it's just all this space in the middle of the field to either throw this or throw that. And that's probably his first read. And it would have been open. I mean, he was open. It's just he missed it. He just physically missed it. So it's too bad for the home team. Let's go back on that real quick. Let's just see how much did he miss this by. I gotta watch it. Sometimes the TV copy will give you a little bit more information on that, but I think he missed that by a good amount. So, if you're a Niners fan, I don't think you should be too happy about how good your defense is and talking about the Super Bowl and all that stuff like that. I think you got to just wait to go up against a team that's going to be a little bit better. Let's go to the next series. Okay, so we're back on the film here. We got this is the last series I'll do in this tape. I want to just get to the first half. I know this is the long version of what I'm trying to get done, but I just wanted to be able to talk through the game a little bit, give some detail on what I see, and obviously that's like a real film room meeting. It's going to be longer than the actual game, okay? But this one I'll go through a little quicker. It's a lot more passing, but it's going to be some repeat concepts here, so I'm not going to draw everything on the board here. So they have the ball backed up, so tough place to start, but we're going to get a lot of quarters coverage here. So right here you're going to get a classic combination. You're going to get a stick combination, which, a spacing kind of stick. Well, basically you're going to get one staying one. Okay, he's going to work out, and then I think you're going to get the little sit down here, the rest of your sticks, okay? And so it's a quick game concept in the West Coast offense. The thing is that because the Niners are playing a lot of quarters and zone, that out ball is going to be wide open. That's not even a problem. So they could have done this more often, especially from these tight compression sets. It would be really easy. But you can just see there the throw to number 1, easy throw. Going after number 20, Thomas, is definitely something I think they did later on in the game, and you can see why. He's not very athletic. He looks like he's a little stiff out there. So that's the first play. Get the ball out of the backed up area. Pretty good. Got a little short motion here. Okay, so now we come back to the play that they ran about 3 times, really. This is the complement on the outside again, where you're going to get number 1 running the post route here. So we get the motion, we get the little inside shallow cross concept. We've seen that so much. And that big post that was open. So a lot of times when I remember, even when I was playing football, I was a safety in college. I would always remember the plays, and this is what coaches try to do to you, tell you on the sideline that was potentially open. Like, oh, I know the eye in the sky just saw that play was probably open. So they're going to come back to it, all right? But if they're playing quarters coverage, again, the safety is going to end up taking that too vertical because he goes over 10 yards. It puts the corner in a spot basically where you could just lay this ball out here. But what happens is, if I'm not mistaken on this play, it's just another poor throw. But we'll take a look at the actual coverage. I mean, the corner as well. So they come back to it. Pickett now throws his ball. He throws it because it was open last time. But he kind of floats it inside. Now the backside safety is there. So I'll give the Niners credit on the quarters coverage. Backside safety doesn't have any work. So he does open up to the middle of the field, and that's a good job by him. But this ball has to be ripped. This ball has to be ripped on the line if it's skinny. Let me see the actual route one more time. He's really wide. Yeah, you can't float this ball across the field most likely because that's a backside safety to be there to pick it off. Again, on paper, sometimes it looks really good, but when you get these corners playing back at about like 10 yards deep and pedaling backwards, it's hard to throw a post ball on a guy who's backing up that far. On paper, it looks like, oh, we should win because we have leverage, but honestly, that's not always the case. I don't blame the Steelers for coming back to this concept. I kind of wish they would have hit it on the first one and just gave it a shot then, and then it might have surprised the Niners. I don't think they're surprised by that right now. All right. So this is interesting. This is the first gun run that I can think of, and Najee Harris was out of the game for a little bit, but this is just a decent run. It makes sense. I know this is the situation, and this might be third down too. Let me see if this is third down or not. If I can see the sticks. Next time I do this, I'll have the play-by-play with me. Unfortunately, the film copy I have doesn't show the down and distance before every play. But you can see the Niners are in their exotic oak type of front where you have three guys to one side over here, right? And they're going to probably, they're not even walking anybody up. But you can see a little bit of that different type of front there. And I mean, when you get a team that's obviously not thinking you're going to run the ball, you can run something like this, which is just, I'm pretty sure it's inside zone. Let me get rid of this real quick and, be successful. Let's go back on that real quick. So it's just inside zone to the defensive right. Ball cuts back. I mean, you got all those bodies. You got the guard and the tackle on the backside. I mean, everybody. This is unsound defense. It's only really good if they were to pass the ball. I said it's unsound. I mean, 91 does come back to the front side A, so it's not the worst thing in the world. But just running zone and having the guy cut it back with the tight end there to help block. And obviously, look at 95. Who is that coming back inside? Jake Jackson. He had a hell of a day, but his body control just doesn't look that good. It's a little bit out of control. All right, so this is an interesting concept. They finally work a concept that's pretty good versus this type of quarters coverage that the Niners are playing. Let me get back on yellow. So they run. Okay, so they just run like like sit down routes out here by two. So it's almost like, they're going to turn inside like it's a curl right about 10 yards or so, but before 10 yards, knowing that these quarter flat defenders, they have to stay with them. They can't just obviously. So it's weird because remember I said they're kind of zone dropping. Well, they're like zone dropping off of their man. If there's nobody, basically they're not. If two goes to the flat and they're playing quarters, most of the time quarter flat defenders and real quarters, true quarters, will go chase that if two goes to the flat, right? But in this situation, if two goes to the flat, it's almost like they become zone defenders. So if two goes to the flat, they just kind of become it's like they turn off the, they relate by depth. They don't relate by, let me go get them right now, okay? Which kind of, again, it's actually pretty good because then I guess, you're helping your safeties not have to basically, be a more aggressive safety. So anyway, long story short, on this play, the way they're working this out is they know they're going to hold these guys by just turning in, and then they're just going to break out. Like it's man-to-man kind of working out that way. So that should result in a pretty easy throw and catch for the quarterback, and that's what happens here. So they might have found out something here, being like in a 2-minute drive situation a little bit. But you can see at the bottom of the screen, watch the receiver turn in and then kind of work out. So it's really tough. And then obviously you can see, like, again, even though the nickel's playing like quarter flat, usually quarter flat defenders would try to get hands on too here at the bottom, and he would actually try to, you know, disrupt him. But right now he's playing with zone eyes, right? And he's letting that guy work out. So it's a very interesting way they're playing that coverage. All right, so get 3-by-1 formation. You're gonna get a zone pressure here, and they just do the backside individual route. Individual route to me is just any type of curl, comeback to the backside solo receiver. So back here we just get our little curl, whatever it might be, whatever they want to run, right? The Niners, though, are actually bringing an interesting blitz here. Not interesting, but just they're doing front side, field side nickel pressure. And you're going to see the safety drop down and play his seam flat from there. This backer back here, he's a zone dropper, but a lot of times versus 3-by-1, what are you zone dropping over? You're zone dropping over the running back. And a lot of times the teams that are scanning and doing stuff with their running back. So like I had said before, sometimes you can bring that guy and just bring him off the edge. So that's what happens here, all right? So it's going to look like it's only 2 guys playing underneath, but it's really the backside seam flat defender is just rushing. But just focus again at the bottom of the screen if you want to look at that. That's just, again, all day, every day against that corner. You could just pretty much just throw layups out there. I mean, do you see the transition of the corner on that play, bro? That's just really bad. I'm actually shocked. I hate to be this guy, but I am shocked that they actually allow this guy to play. There has to be another corner somewhere on his couch that can play better than this. Look at the transition and then the slipping as he's like making the transition down there. See if I can slow it down a little bit. Let's watch the corner here. All right, the bottom of the screen. He's wide open, so much cushion. Then when he tries to make his plant and drive, this is the type of stuff you see in drills, right? He doesn't even drive that well. I mean, it's just, I can't even play in the slow motion right there. It just looks bad. I think anybody you guys play football and see football, like that's just bad. If you were playing flag football and you saw that as the corner, you would just eat that up all day. So I'm interested in the second half when I come back for the second half of this video. To see what the heck happened. The coach has got to make an adjustment and play a different coverage. Because right now the corners are pretty much isolated out there all day. Another quarters against empty. I'm going to talk about some more red zone breaking, some red zone stuff down here. But again, we're getting 2 out. I guess they're in some sort of dime defense. I'm not quite sure because I see 20s now in the slot. But 2 out to the flat. Easy. Oh, that's number 2. That's Lenore. Okay, my fault. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's the nickel. So against this kind of hybrid soft quarters that the Niners are playing, that play is open. They motion from 2-by-2 to 3-by-1. Usually that gives you a nice idea of like what kind of quarters they're playing. So usually here when you get this type of call, you're going to get poached by the backside safety. People have different words for it, but you're going to have this safety. Sorry. You're going to have this safety right here. Let me get it on the screen, guys. This safety right here. He's going to look over to see if 3 goes vertical with speed, right? But sometimes they don't do that. Sometimes you could just let it play out, especially with the motion. And the guy that's going to make the adjustment here would be the front side safety, just kind of softening up here, which they're kind of playing soft anyway. And I talk about this in my Madden guys, that might be a technique to play with quarters, is actually to just play with this guy and soften up and look for three. If they ran verticals like that, kind of sit between the two. And you can kind of see on defense with the Niners, they're pretty much doing that because of the way you're going to see, like the way Warner plays and the way these guys play. It looks like true zone. On the backside, though, they're going to have to be a little bit more matchy with the backside inside linebacker. But this route right here is just a classic red zone route. It's just it's a bang 8, a bang post by the offense. I would like to see this guy actually work out to the bottom of the numbers to give himself more room like a wide receiver would. He just kind of works up here and gives a little nod. Doesn't get enough space. But this ball, I think, is thrown actually in a pretty good spot away from the safety and should be potentially caught. But you can see that Pickett loves his tight end. That's for sure. You guys see that? All right. So, again, we'll see it better from the end zone. You can actually see the route. The tight end right there, he's going to run up. He's going to run straight. Give a little bit of an outside lean. Ball's thrown to the inside part of the shoulder. I mean, that's the one thing about being a tight end. You're going to have to make catches in traffic. You're going to get hit. But I don't know if he couldn't reach back. I don't know if the corner actually did get a hand on this now that I look at it. Maybe he did get a little hand on it right there. But overall, the scheme is decent. It's not bad. It's going to make the catch. That tight end's been getting walloped all day. Now here we get empty, which is a good, again, they're 4-man pass rush playing cover 4. So as we get closer to the red zone, teams will say red 4. And red 4 just means that we're going to play cover 4, but we're going to play it more aggressive than probably what you naturally would. Which means that you're going to get all types of maybe double teams. You have the flexibility as a DB to work with your guys and make some different calls. So the way the safety here is at the bottom is actually playing so low. Hold on one second. The way the safety's playing so low, I think they're playing what we call triangle. So triangle is basically anytime you have 3 over 2, you're playing quarters or you're playing a version of 2-man that allows you to play triangle. Basically, you know what? I'm going to go back on that. They're not playing triangle, but the safety, I don't know what he's doing with his disguise, but I can definitely tell because usually a triangle player here and the inside would be a little bit further back, okay? So basically they're just playing quarters. And for whatever reason, oh, okay, I know what it is actually. Let me go back. It just hit me. So there's like a million different ways. I've been through a lot of different systems and looking at it a few times, I think I know what it is now. So we're going to get quarters at the bottom, but because of the situation of speed down here, a good receiver, and you got a linebacker, right? In general, quarters, and I've talked about this on my Madden channel, is that anytime 3 is away by alignment, so 3, 1, 2, 3, and this is 1, 2, and you're a quarter flat defender, you have to make sure that you stay inside of any inside breaking route. All right, the whole time. You can't let it crush you. You can't let it come underneath you. You have to basically match this route no matter what. And obviously, from a safety standpoint, you're looking at this, you're like, this is a tough matchup, right? They run stick slop, okay, where he kind of runs that slot option over here. He can do this or that. I'm pretty sure he's just running off. So he's in threat. So what the safety would do is just let him know, and they probably make a call for this, like, hey, I'm going to help you out, and like if there's any outbreaking route, I'll take that, and you take the inside breaking route. So it's almost like a true double team with 1 and 2 over this guy, which will lock up the corner on the outside receiver. That's what I'm thinking this is. If they are playing just regular quarters, it would kind of play out the same way. But the way the safety's standing so low down there, he was playing deep the whole time. Now he's like looking for an outside breaking route. You see how the safety's like standing there. So the guy that gets beat, honestly, is just 57. He gets beat to the inside. I mean, that's really tough. He probably hasn't worked that type of thing all year against a guy with that much agility. So that's an easy touchdown pass that's missed by Pickett. He definitely should have made that play. I don't know how the throw is just behind him. Okay, that's a touchdown. A lot of touchdowns turned down here. All right, on this play here, we're going to get an actual, a pressure. And this is actually a different type of pressure. They're bringing like 6-man pressure. Okay, this is like what I call a hot pressure. So you're bringing 6, but you're playing a soft zone behind it, quarters. All right, so the offense actually has a pretty good play. They're gonna run. I forgot what the concepts were, but all I know is that the back comes over and he goes out to the flat. I think the down right now is 4th and like 2. Okay, so all he has to do is just hit this guy. Now, most defenses, though, would do something where they actually have whoever is the edge pressure. If there is some sort of like release of a running back, he would just come off and peel off and take this guy. All right, that's usually when you send 6, you're sending a whole lot of players and it's a zone pressure behind you. You know that there's only really technically one guy in the middle. All right, these guys are going to play like an aggressive quarters. Like they're basically matching anybody that comes in their zone. Doesn't matter if it's like deep or short. But this play happens so fast that, you know, there's nothing that the corner can do here. Let's take a look at it real quick. This ball comes out. Good job by I like the motion there. The throw, puts it on his back shoulder. First down. That's a good job by the offense on this one. But you can see the pressure coming off the edge, and you can see that kind of like hot pressure. This is a big the coordinator for the Eagles, Johnson, used to do this a lot. The mug look by the linebacker definitely to suck up that center, and that's a good play call. I think the defense probably could have executed that better. All right, we get a kill play, kill the clock. All right, so now we get. So classic, once we get down to like the medium red zone, low red zone, you're going to start getting double move routes. So you see like the double whip routes by the inside tight ends. Again, this is where quarters is tough to play down here. Your corners are pretty much going to have to take away, which is different than in the field. Your corners down here are going to have to like not just be deep players, obviously, and let short ones go. They're going to have to react to this a little bit more, which puts a little pressure on your safeties to play number 2 if he goes to the flat. Okay, so just in general, you get basically double moves, and then you get at the very top a little return pivot route. But the you know, with this coverage is good versus obviously like it's just a good red zone play versus most coverages. Pickett does a good job and throws the ball a little late to the outside, but again, he's going up against a corner that can't really break, so that could have been picked off if it was a good corner. So here's an example of how this coverage, I'm not sure what's going on here. So watch here. Let's just go back to the beginning of this play. Trying to go back to the beginning. It's a little bit getting stuck. All right. So here we have the nickel coming in motion, right? He's running across because, I say in motion, the passing strength is potentially changing, okay? But he goes back. So over here, it looks like we're getting quarters in the red zone, okay? The way that Warner is playing, he's playing at the inside 3 receiver hook, so he's definitely looking like he's playing like a box, but watch him go through his mechanics here. He kind of just goes back and forth with his assignments. He talks, he comes back, he doesn't really say much, but his job, I'm talking about Warner, is just to look at 3 coming across the field. He's going to basically try to wall it. You know, the safety in him from back in the day in college, he definitely turns his body a lot, but he can get away with that. But he's trying to wall the inside breaking route, and he's just going to take that with him. The guy that gets really screwy here is the nickel. Again, he should, if this is old school quarters coverage down here, they should be playing box. He's going to take first to the flat. Now, what the offense is doing is actually having the wide receiver beat a flat route, which is always tough. That's going to kind of eat up your corner like I just talked about. And the quarters in the red zone, you're not going to be able to sit back and let him throw that all day. The guy that was actually going in motion runs a corner, okay? So in this play in general, the nickel is kind of caught in no man's land. And I'm not sure if you watch this play how they're going to teach this to this guy, because he actually chases the corner out. Right, so I'm not sure if he was supposed to be man lock on that guy or whatever it is. You can actually see some hand signals from the safety on this play. But anyway, basically the 2 DBs that are deep are actually just going to play quarters coverage and just going to let it play out. So he kind of stops his feet, but he kind of ends up coming back here and taking that corner. This safety is pretty much just sitting here waiting inside. He's not trying to jump anything. He's waiting for the ball to be thrown, okay? So the route that obviously is wide open is that inside reverse pivot. Now, I'm just going to say, I mean, this is just a good schemed up route in general, you know? On the backside, you can see there's only one receiver. So when that happens, sometimes they would just call what they call a cone, right? They would just double team bracket this guy on the outside. So that's just basic football, which obviously locks up your backside linebacker to basically watch the running back and basically take him man to man. I think this route is actually pretty well schemed up. I'm not sure why the ball didn't get to. He's actually throwing the corner route here, which is unbelievable. If he would have thrown this route, I don't know what he's thinking. It looks like he's about to throw the corner. Now, if he would have thrown the inside guy, oh wait, they're talking. This could have been an I don't know what's going on there. I'm not sure what's going on because the outside receiver is talking like he should have stayed out there or something. So I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah. All right. So now they come out in, what is this, 11 personnel, but they got a receiver that's aligned in the slot area. So they just run stick, just an out pattern, quick out by the bottom tight end. Again, quarters coverage. You're talking about now balls, again, it's the same idea that they kind of started off with. Outbreaking route, it's going to suck this guy up. Stick is going to work away from that linebacker because he has to keep inside the positioning, and it's good to go. This is where you would want to use what I call triangle. Basically, that's a really bad writing on the screen. Sorry about that. But basically, it would allow your safety to do what we were kind of talking about before in that quarters coverage, where he can come and take the outside breaking route down there. Some people will call it triangle. Some people will call it different things. You can play quarters and just tell, like, hey, we're going to lock the outside guy and double team this guy, give your linebacker some help. But he would take away that outbreaking route. But his body positioning is telling me that right now they're just playing regular quarters, just a little bit more aggressive. Look at the top of the screen as well. It's wide open back here at the top of the screen. I don't know if he ever got to this route, but top of the screen, this little slant, kind of inside breaking route is wide open there. Again, versus quarters, just sell outside, have somebody work across the middle. Let me put it on the screen so you can see what I'm looking at. Have this guy work to suck up the safety, and then wide open. A lot of good quarterbacks should just kind of wait for that to be wide open. The running back's checking through. Warner's the 3 receiver hook player. He has to go play that. So, yeah, that was a guy that was open. But you know what? He took the first guy. He took his big tight end. Obviously, he's been in love with him all day. So there goes the first real good drive of the whole game. So they're going to probably build off of this in the second half. So what I'll do is, this film dropped last night for me. I was able to get it for 12 o'clock at night. So I was able to kind of get through that first part. I went really slow. In the future, I would definitely make this a little bit more clean for you guys. But, if you want to just learn football and just see what it's all being talked about, guys who are here for my Madden channel, that's the main thing I do. But we're going to do more of some real life stuff, maybe even splice up some of this stuff, put a Madden clip and then put an NFL clip right behind it or in front of it. Give an idea of how things look. Also, I love talking technique, so I'll start talking about defensive back technique. Obviously, you see me ripping number 20, how bad he is. I mean, he's just really bad. I don't even understand why he's out there. The video doesn't lie. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't lie, to be honest with you. So, thanks for listening. And then if you guys like this, let me know, and I'll come back and do the second half. All right? Talk to you later. Peace.